Hello, Leo. Welcome to your offering in this reading. Allow your own intuition and discernment to serve so that you may know what's for you, what's not for you. Leave what needs to be left and take what needs to be taken. Allow your own co-creative nature to co-create what the message is serving in your life. All right, guides, angels, ancestors, allow us to tune into the sign of Leo. Allow their guides, angels, and ancestors to dictate the messages as they are the ones walking with them, and they deserve to be heard. Leo, the fire was so strong. It was so bright. It was so hot. It was so, it was like the fire. Y'all ever seen Pokemon? And you know the fire that, the Moltres fire that they light for all of the competitions, and they run with it, and it's like the fire that can't be taken out, the fire that never goes out, right? That was your fire, right? And then the water came. And so there's a bit of shock. And I feel like Leos are struggling a little bit because there's a lot of this emotional, spiritual, downloaded energy that's coming in that is almost forcing other things. So it's like the volume of what's being taken up in the space of you is being taken up by a lot of other things. And then this water energy, this energy is coming in, and it's making you feel like you've been put out, when in reality it's just maximizing your storage. It's maximizing your ability of what you can hold, right? Can you hold a fire underneath the water? Your fire can never go out. Your fire is not gone out by water. In fact, it is fed by the water. And this water creates the steam and the heat that then allows you to sit in that sauna and detoxify yourself, right? So there's a confusion and a struggle that I feel with Leo right now. Thank you, Spirit. And this water's coming on different forms, in different forms. Again, keep in mind, this is a collective reading. Water represents emotion. It represents being triggered. It represents new developments in your life that cause you to feel, a little bit confused, a little bit like, what do I do with this? A little bit weighed down. But it is ultimately serving you. So you may not be in your ideal flow. You may have liked how you felt a couple days ago, and then all of a sudden this water came in and you're like, damn, just when I was hitting my stride, I trip up, right? But water shows up when we need to move slower, right? You move slower in water than you do in air. Try and shoot an arrow through some water, and then try and shoot an arrow through the air and see how much faster the one in the air goes. Half speed is what I'm hearing. This is the equivalent of eating a meal, and you absorb the nutrients when you're slowly consuming it and enjoying it. There's an energetic sort of digestion of what is going on. Yeah, you don't feel called to anything right now, Leo. You don't feel that same fire and passion and direction and focus. And you feel like you missed something, you missed the boat, you failed in some way, you somehow messed something up. You're judging yourselves, Leo, for something that you've chosen or a choice that you've made in the recent past, something that felt like it was more of a reverberation from the old self. However, it was just a part of you that showed up at the inconvenient time to your standards of what you thought you needed at the time. And so thus when you're hitting your stride and then something comes across your mind or something comes across your table, and then all of a sudden everything is like, whoa, I can't even move forward with this information. I can't even move forward with knowing this now. Something in me has been triggered, and for good reason, because you're not fully able. This is another aspect of yourself that needs to be answered to move forward. This is another aspect of yourself that needs integration to move forward. This is a time of shadow work. And you're used to being the ones leading. You're used to being the ones with that focus and that vision and that confidence. And what happens when you're not? What happens when you can't fake it till you make it anymore? What happens when you got to deal with some shit before you even take another step? Magic happens. Because you're dealing with the fundamentally debilitating aspect of your consciousness that has been present but hasn't really been at the surface. And this aspect has been way deep down in your depths, but it has surely been dragging you back. It has surely your entire life been holding you back. We'll get into what it is. Spirit, what is the water? What is the water energy for Leo? What is... Ooh. A failure. I'm hearing somebody, you're applying for something and not getting it, not getting what you think, right? You foolishly, and I say this with love, you foolishly assumed that what you were being drawn towards was a particular thing. You put your eggs in that basket, and when that basket didn't come back home, okay, Leo was tight. Okay, but with the Empress in the reverse, Spirit is saying, go back to the garden. It's also a lot of like, you reap what you sow is kind of what I'm hearing. So there's some kind of karmic falling apart of something that was never for you to begin with, but it was something that was meant to bring something to the surface. I'm hearing for some of you guys, this was a relationship. For some of you guys, this was something that you thought you were manifesting but didn't come to fruition, or is falling apart right before your eyes. Spirit is saying your intuition is showing you why, right? If you're willing to see it, but you're mad, right? I'm hearing Leo's on strike. Leo doesn't even want to deal with us anymore. Leo's just like, fuck Spirit, fuck it. Forgive me. But Spirit is like, Leo is like, fuck the universe, fuck all of it, right? I'm tired. You get to be mad, okay? Nobody's holding it against you. You're still having this offering, huh? But with the Star card and the Aquarius energy, it's like, yeah, but where is it that you were ignoring a pivotal aspect of yourself that you don't feel is worthy of the light? And that aspect is the very key and the nucleus of what brings your success in, right? Leo is seeking fame or recognition or notoriety, a success, okay? And what happens when the very thing that you don't want people to see is the very thing that is the nucleus to what brings in everything you desire? What happens if that's the thing with the most magnetic charge to bring those souls within your soul family and your soul tribe to the yard? What happens when that's the ingredient in the milkshake that brings all the boys to the yard? What you gonna do? And also know, like, your higher self is pouring this water down over you to cleanse you, right? This emotional, this energy may not feel, this energy may not feel good, okay? But it is definitely cleansing. It is bringing you back to the self and removing you from ego-based stuff. This is an ego death energy. With the Six of Cups as well, this is like, this is bringing it back to childhood, simply put, and all of the pain and sort of like, I guess you could say, distortions that were given to you, or all of the distortions that were placed in your lap or brought into your life at a very I guess you could say vulnerable time in your life, Leo. And this is something of a pain and something of a recognition. 6 + 3 = 9. So this is like coming to the completion, or stepping up to the completion of something that is deep, that you wore as a badge of honor, some kind of victimized frequency. You figure it out. This is for you to figure out. But there's something that you were living with, Leo, that is sort of asking you to answer to it. It's coming to collect right now. But Leo's really struggling with this solitary time. You're struggling with this awareness. You're wanting to go. You keep wanting to go. It's like trying to push a car that won't drive. It's like, what's the point? Why are you trying to push this thing uphill and it doesn't even have an engine to push itself? You're exhausting yourself, and you're bringing yourself to the brink of honestly, like falling, collapsing, falling apart. And it feels like you trying to communicate this, or you trying to express yourself, is just you harping on things that don't serve. So it's like somebody who is so caught up and so absorbed by something that happened in their lives that they're not happy with, and they just keep talking about it and keep going and keep complaining, right? Leo, I love you, but right now is not a time to be a complainer. Right now is not a time to sit here and harp on all of this stuff. Right now is the time to see the gold that is present here. Sift through all of this, and you will find the nuggets that will bring you into the future. It's like, where is it that you don't, it's the vulnerability, that nucleus, the nucleus I was talking about was that vulnerability, and that vulnerability is being locked away, Leo, by something you don't want to answer to. It's like, that's not now, that's the past. I don't need to deal with that. I need to let it go. I need to move on. Yeah, but you're not moved on, and you can't move on, so deal with it, right? And not in the same way you did before. It's not by placing blame or allowing yourself to be victimized, even in your own thought and beliefs within it. It's about you moving forward in a way that allows you that grace and that space to feel and honor what happened. A lot of sexual abuse energy, a lot of like neglect energy, a lot of parental issue stuff, okay, a lot of abandonment issues, just a lot of, right? And you feel like because you're shiny now, or because you have grown and you're not in that position anymore, because you have this and that you're no longer subject to this energy. No, you have to answer to it. There's a part of you that is locked behind that. This is not a message you're going to like, but it's a message that you need. So yes, you were on fire. And yes, the water came and extinguished your fire, but did it have to? No. The reason it did is because you don't know your fire well enough. Because a part of your fire and an element within that fire is your vulnerability, and you're being okay with not being seen in much favorable lights. This is like you stepping down as being the publicist and the celebrity at the same time. You are not the publicist and the celebrity at the same time. You cannot pay attention to how you're being perceived and how you're being viewed and what is being viewed, and you cannot cherry pick how you're being perceived and how you're being viewed to benefit you. It doesn't work that way. That removes you and strips you of your vulnerability. Are you willing to be seen in less favorable lights, Leo? Are you willing to be seen as weak at times, which you're not really, but that's how you judge it, right? Are you willing to be seen as vulnerable, which is really what it is? Are you willing to be seen as someone who's not perfect, who doesn't have the perfect image to put forth, the perfect, oomph? And a lot of times that perfection, or what's being perceived as perfection, is authenticity. So there's a lot of ways in which your star shines super bright, and you allow that to be seen, but can you also allow the other sides to be seen? Because it feels like that's what is going to give you the full spectrum, the full circle, that is going to allow you to magnetize the kinds of success that you desire and be able to appreciate yourself and hold yourself in moments that are less than perfect. Right now, you're being afforded a gift that is a very uncomfortable gift to receive, and I hope that you can receive it in kind. And with that, I leave you in the divine light of the divine creator, Leo. If you're interested in booking a private session with me or getting deeper into your personal situation, that information's in the description box, or you can email me at andrewsintuition.com. And until next time,